An indefinite amount of time has passed since I last made a Destiny Theory video. It has been dry. Not that many topics to talk or theorize about. But now, time has called upon me, and it's time to answer the questions no one else dares to answer. Hello and welcome to another Destiny Theory video. Today's topic was suggested by one of my fellow Guardian pals known as Tukas. He wanted to know where the location of the lost city from Destiny could be. Well, Tukas and other Guardians out there, today is the day I'm gonna answer that very question. So hold on to your ghosts, cause here we go. The last city is the last populated place on Earth in the Destiny universe. It is rumored to hold around 700,000 people before the Red War occurred. It's sitting underneath the 14-kilometer sphere known as the Traveler and carries the home of many of our familiar friends and faces throughout the Destiny universe, like Zavala, Ikora, and Cade. Oh wait. Despite the numerous attacks that the last city has been through, it still stands strong and proud despite all odds. But if there happen to be any Fallen or Cabal or any threats that wants to know the exact location to attack it, or if any Guardian wants to know where our home is, first, look for a massive orb in the sky, and boom, there you go. Secondly, where would it actually be located? Let us start by looking at some locations it could be at, according to popular theories. For the record, I checked all of the promotional trailers, gameplays and vidocs in order to find every clue of where the last city could be. I even looked through a lot of Grimoire cards, and I've also been inside both Destiny games to get better angles. Okay, the popular theories suggest that the last city would be somewhere in either Nepal, Northern Chile, Argentina, Russia, or North America. These are all based on the movement of the sun and the local geography of the last city. Okay, so let's start with Nepal. As we can see, the mountains in Nepal would make for a logical location of the last city. Let's look at Northern Chile. Another good candidate as well. Mountains and snow, it all fits well. How about Argentina? Still solid? Russia? Yep. And North America? Ooh, Denver has it. Colorado and Colorado Springs has it too. Nice. Alright, we have some candidates here. Let us see if there's any of these we can remove to make our estimations easier. Okay, if we look around the tower, we see plenty of super tall mountains, and I believe these could be the Himalayas, and that's what I've been believing in. I will say that Northern Chile and Colorado Springs wouldn't really fit in here based on these picks, seeing how we can't really see any desert-esque environments around the tower, nor around the city. But which of the remaining ones can be the true one? Well, the Koryak in Russia seems fitting. They have the mountains, snow, and probably trees there as well. Not to mention, in the first story mission for Destiny 1, our Guardian goes from the Cosmodrome, which is in old Russia, to the tower pretty fast. The day doesn't move too much during the cutscene either, so the last city could actually be here. The major problem with this though is that we don't know the exact location of the Cosmodrome. We know that the Iron Temple is close to it, as we can see here. And from the Grimoire, we learned that Lord Fellwinter, one of the Iron Lords, went from the Aral Seas and then headed east. So we can sort of assume that the Cosmodrome is somewhat close to the Aral Seas, And if someone wonders about the Vostok Observatory, while it might be a real thing, it wouldn't fit with the overall geography we see here. Let's look at all of the Crucible maps from Destiny 1. As we can see, they only have a vague description of where they are. We know that Bannerfall are on the wall and Twilight Gap is somewhere outside of the wall and the city, but they don't tell us an exact location of each of the Crucible maps. Now let us listen to a character who might help us with a clue to where the city is. During the Lost Cryptarch mission, aka Thunderlord quest, Amanda Holliday says these lines.
Fallen transmat pad in the EDZ. I can't read where it's pointing, but it's somewhere they don't want you to be. This is our chance. Head back across the pond, use that transmat, and get ready for trouble.
This suggests that the last city could be in North America. The pond in this case most likely refers to the Atlantic Ocean. If this is the case, the possible locations could be either in Denver, Colorado, or Colorado Springs. But I'm still gonna say no to Colorado Springs. However, the suggestion would also work if the last city were to be in Chile, because the Atlantic Ocean could be the pond in this case as well. But Chile is a no. It could also work for our Russia case. The only question then would be, what is the pond in this case? Perhaps Lake Baikal? A suggestion from me is that the last city could be in Nepal, and it could make sense. In my case, Amanda might refer to either the Black Sea or the Caspian Sea as the pond. Let us now take a look at some cutscenes. Take a look at the Zavala story. We can see right here that the last city were built around a very snowy and cold environment with plenty of trees in it, further suggesting that it isn't in a desert environment like northern Chile or Colorado Springs. This one doesn't really say much more than we already know at this point. These show even more of the overall landscape the last city is surrounded by: soil, trees, snow and mountains. And from space, we can see that it must be near some form of either sea or giant lake. We can also see some landmass. It's not 100% clear of what part of the world it is. And if we look at this cutscene, we see Hawthorne and our Guardian go by ships towards the farm, telling us that the EDC is far away from the city. So a quick recap. The last city is surrounded by mountains, snow, trees and has its own coast close to it. The coast part definitely removes Nepal, Argentina, Chile, Colorado, Colorado Springs and Denver. The only one that seems to fit it best is still Koryak Mountains in Russia. I thought I was almost done, but when I looked upon the last cutscenes, they broke me. Might have given some pretty clear evidence for where the city would be. However, these last cutscenes tell a different story entirely. Take a look. According to this one, it seems as if the traveler would have landed in one of the Earth's poles, either the South or the North Pole. You might say that this is just a different angle of this cutscene, but let me prove it's not. Now look at the last cutscene from the Destiny 2 campaign. This further proves that the traveler and the last city would be on one of Earth's poles. Why so, you might ask? Because of the moon. The moon orbits around Earth like this. And judging by the details of the moon here, and how the moon spins on its own axis, we can safely say that the traveler would be on the North Pole. Furthermore, this tiny land down here looks to me like in South America. I looked at the different filters and everything to get an even clearer view of what part of the world this could be, and I still stick with South America at this point. So, what now? All of the previous estimations useless? Did Bungie do an oopsie? Or is it suggested that around 700 years into the future, the North Pole would have mountaintops like this? Or that the moon's orbit changed dramatically? It's all because of these cutscenes that made it so hard to figure out the true answer. After some further studies, I think we just slightly tilt the Earth like this. Then it actually looks to fit. And the land isn't south in this case, but rather North America. And the moon is still very close to its real orbit and looks. So this is my conclusion. The last city is located somewhere around the Koryak Mountains in Russia, close to the Cosmodrome, close to the North Pole, has a coast to the Pacific Ocean, and it fits the best with nearly all of the cutscenes, as well as the moon's orbit and location in this case. But what are your thoughts? Please share them in the comment section. If you have any suggestions for a future theory video you want me to cover, feel free to leave it in the comment section as well. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in my next video. Bye bye!